LeBron James hates America. He hates American freedom of speech. He hates America's national anthem. King James bends his knee to communism and to countries who commit atrocities and send him money. So buckle up, Buttercup, because in today's video, we go through 5 examples of LeBron James showing his true colors as an America-hating, commie-worshipping shitbag. Let's get at it. Number 1, LeBron James refuses to stand up for America's national anthem. Here we've got LeBron James sitting down during our national anthem at his son's basketball game.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars.
And this is an example that really infuriates normal red-blooded Americans. Witness the disrespect. For those of us who live in America, this is our homeland. It's not perfect, but it is still one of the very best places to live in the entire world. And here's this lowlife who has made over $1 billion while living in the United States, and he has the fucking audacity to shit on our country with this gesture of disrespect. And this isn't the only time that King James has pulled shit like this. Number 2, LeBron James interrupts the national anthem.
Let's go!
And not one of you BRONSEXUALS rating my comment section better defend his low-rent behavior or say, oh come on man, he was hyped. LeBron James knew exactly what he was doing here by screaming out while the anthem is still playing, sticking a finger in the eye of proud Americans. Because it doesn't take much. The bar is very low to conduct yourself in America with some basic sense of dignity. It's not that hard to just stand there throughout the entire anthem like a normal American citizen.
Let's go!
But on so many occasions, LeBron refuses to clear that bar. And in each of these examples here, where he releases his inner tweaker, he shows himself for who he really is. An entitled little twat waffle. So when LeBron James was chosen as the flag bearer for the United States in the Olympic opening ceremonies that were already filled with filth and disgusting imagery, well, what could be more un-American than seeing this pampered, ungrateful shitbag floating down some French river like a Bobo, great value George Washington. This truly was a disgusting slap in the face to real Americans, and LeBron and the Olympic Committee knew exactly what they were doing. And in the next example, LeBron defended another national anthem disrespecter. Guys, my backup channel is at Rumble. Open up a new browser, go to rumble.com, type in Red-Blooded Sports. That's gonna be my backup account just in case. Number 3, LeBron James stood up for Brittney Griner. And for those of you who do not know her, Brittney Griner is a WNBA player. In 2022, she was detained at a Russian airport after she was found with vape cartridges containing hash oil, which is illegal in Russia. Griner was sentenced to 9 years in prison for something which she was prescribed back in the States. And the irony here is, Brittney Griner previously took a hardcore stance against the American national anthem. Here's her quote: "Honestly, I don't think we should play the national anthem during our season. I think we should take that position. Personally, I don't think it should be in sports." Shortly afterward, the Biden administration arranged for a trade of a high-profile arms dealer for the woman who used her platform as an athlete to demand that the national anthem, in the country where she lived, not be played before each game because feelings. In NBA terms, this trade would have been like sending 3 unprotected first-round picks for Bronny James, a hot dog cart from the G League affiliate, and a used plunger. After Griner had spent some time incarcerated, LeBron James, by now known throughout the land as a habitual American national anthem disrespecter, decided to defend Griner publicly by saying, "Now, how can she feel like America has her back?" LeBron continued, "I would be feeling like, do I even want to go back to America?" Well, Griner shouldn't have felt like the majority of Americans had her back because they didn't. Most didn't care, and many of those who did had an awful opinion about her after she trashed the national anthem. I mean, and you may have a hard time believing this, but after dissing the United States, America did not have Griner's back. In fact, the majority of Americans polled did not want her to return, at least not in a swap for a high-profile arms dealer, as 52% disapproved the trade and only 38% did approve it. Well, how ironic was it that after talking shit about the national anthem, in a country where you were still allowed to speak somewhat freely, Brittney Griner ended up spending several months in a labor camp in a country where freedoms that we enjoy here, including freedom of speech, were greatly restricted. After the Biden administration arranged for the trade to happen, Griner and her acolytes in the feminist sports media establishment immediately tried to walk back her anti-American stance, just as Brittney Griner Hates America was trending on social media. That being said, in recent years, Brittney Griner has totally and completely changed her stance on protesting the national anthem, unlike LeBron James. Number 4, LeBron stood against freedom of speech in the United States. 7 words, nearly ruined one man's career and launched an international shitstorm that engulfed the entire NBA. Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. How could this happen in America, a land that was founded on the ideals of personal freedom? Those words came from a tweet that was sent out by Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey. I'm really going to gloss over this because it's an entire deep dive worthy of its own separate video. And if you'd be interested in a deeper video about this, let me know in the comments. The simplified backstory here is that China had been infringing on the respective sovereignty of Hong Kong, and it was really coming to a peak in 2019. Morey's tweet on the surface seems to be the most obvious of statement. Kind of like, air is good to breathe, hot chicks are fun to look at, or ESPN is really going down the shitter. Who among us wouldn't wish Hong Kong to be free from communist oppression and tyranny? In the internationally connected world of sports, however, where the Houston Rockets had considerable ties to China, the fallout from this statement was catastrophic. Daryl Morey, at that point a successful general manager who helped pioneer the use of analytics in basketball, almost got shit-canned over that statement. To his credit, at least publicly, Adam Silver himself made a statement that, quote, Daryl Morey is supported in terms of his ability to exercise his freedom of expression. And then, after all this died down, LeBron James showed up late to the party and opened his dumbass mouth for a 40 IQ cave dweller.
We all talk about this freedom of speech. Yes, we all do have freedom of speech, but at times there are ramifications for the negative that can happen when you're not thinking about others and you're only thinking about yourself. So I don't believe, I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke, and so many people could have been harmed, not only financially but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do. Even though yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
I mean, where do I even start? This came out 10 days after Morey's tweet about Hong Kong. The king and his team of fluffers had 10 days to prepare a statement that didn't sound like word bukkake. But with hundreds of millions of dollars of his wealth tied to China, we know who is getting harmed financially, LeBron, and harmed emotionally, again, LeBron, who exactly would have been harmed physically and spiritually from that tweet? And what, LeBron, were the negatives that come from free speech exactly? The ability to speak your mind? Would you believe that LeBron continued to say more words past this? He did. I believe he was either misinformed or not really educated on the situation. Let's not forget here, guys, that Daryl Morey's an MIT grad, and LeBron James can't get past the table of contents in a book. If anybody's going to know more about this topic between the two of them, it's definitely going to be Morey. And if he was, then so be it. I have no idea, but that is just my belief. Because when you say things or do things, if you are doing it, you know the people that can be affected by it, and the families and individuals and everyone that can be affected by it. Sometimes things can be changed as well, and also social media is not always the proper way to go about things as well, but that's just my belief. I do not believe there was any consideration for the consequences and ramifications of the tweet. I'm not discussing the substance, others can talk about that. Again, guys, just a casserole of nonsense. So when it's time to make a statement on social media after a fake race crime or anything that happens in America that scrapes his clit, LeBron James puts on his little cape and becomes more than an athlete. When it comes to his sponsor taking away people's personal freedoms and liberties, inflicting brutality, and I'll let you guys look that up on your own. It is horrific what has gone on over there, and actual oppression on its people. LeBron becomes their spokesman, actively defends them, and gives us all a burning dumpster full of words that mean nothing. Number 5. LeBron James called 63 million American voters uneducated. Now, I don't care which side of the political spectrum my people are on, if they're even on it at all. But this action by the king here is absolutely un-American, no matter which side you claim. When Donald Trump won the US election in 2016, there were many public figures who were very upset about it, including the Akron Hammer. And he told us all about that in this quote. I think that one of the biggest problems we have when it comes to vote time, people are just not educated on either the individual or the state of the world. And am I saying that the people of Ohio wasn't educated? Am I saying some of the other states that voted for him was uneducated? They could have been, or they could not have been. But that doesn't mean it was the right choice. First of all, LeBron, it's elections, not vote time, you dipshit. Secondly, this isn't some aberration in terms of LeBron's clumsy delivery and first-grade ability to string words together into a comprehensive thought pattern. This is who LBJ is. This is the king to so many millions of people. A stumbling, bumbling, mouth-breathing doofus when it comes to articulating even the most basic of thoughts on topics outside of the game of basketball. And just take a look at that last sentence he used in his multi-car pile-up of words. That doesn't mean it was the right choice. Just who the fuck is this clown to define what the right choice is? LeBron James proudly displays his lack of education on his Twitter profile. St. Vincent Mary's class of 2003. So let me get this straight. This guy's last passing grade in any type of formal education came back when Get Rich or Die Tryin' was hot in the streets. And he has the audacity to think he's got enough shit packed between his ears to tell 63 million other American voters that they were uneducated. But some athletes out there are more than willing to call LeBron James out for his un-American stance and his lack of intelligence. The UFC's Colby Covington is by far the most outspoken out of any one of them, and he doesn't mince his words when it comes to how he feels about King James.
You hate America so much and you don't like this country that gave you $1 billion, leave it. Or come deal with me. You go to China, go to these sweatshops that you employ all these laborers and use these women and pay them pennies on the dollar to make your millions. Fuck you, LeBron James. You're a coward. You're a spineless coward. And you're a bitch.
Covington even challenged LeBron straight up to a fight. And when I recently posed the question to my subscribers over who would win in a fight between the two, over 90% of them thought that Covington would beat King James's ass, even with an enormous height, reach, and weight disadvantage. Colby called him out for his cries for equity and for him being a finger puppet for China. Covington is firmly entrenched as the premier professional athlete, calling out the disgusting behavior of commie King James. Because LeBron James is no role model, no patriot at all. He is a disgusting hypocrite, openly hates America and traditional American values, even as he lives on American soil and earns American revenue from American citizens. And he pledged his allegiance to a country that engages in vicious crimes against humanity. He does all of this, even as he stands on the opportunities that were presented to him here, in my country. LeBron James is an entitled, freeloading, freedom-hating shitbag.